Cuenta, 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 cuenta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cuenta, 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 cuenta. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Cuenta, 20, cuenta, 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 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Cuenta, 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 cuenta. 29, cuenta, 30, cuenta.
Oh boy, boys and girls, hello, happy Monday, April 13th, 2020. Getting really big time when the Quenta video people start sponsoring this network. That means we're pretty high up in the rankings here of the distance learning networks across the country. So hope you enjoyed that little flashback, and you should be experts now in counting to 30. Welcome to another week. My goodness, the weeks are just flying by like crazy. Oh my goodness. First of all, I hope you all had a wonderful Easter weekend. A little bit different, I know, but we're kind of getting used to this, that everything's being a little bit different. I just hope that you were able to spend time with your family. You were able to get outdoors. You were able to do some activities, whatever they are. Maybe they're going on an Easter egg hunt. You're dyeing Easter eggs. You're watching or listening to a church service of some kind. Whatever it is your family, whatever your traditions are, I hope you were able to enjoy those somewhat. Weather kind of got a little chilly. We didn't get outside a whole lot, especially Saturday and Sunday was really windy and chilly, and today is supposed to be that way too. But yeah, our family, we spent a lot of time talking with other relatives on chatting with our devices. We played some board games, dyed Easter eggs. We did an Easter egg hunt on Sunday. We watched our church service Sunday morning as well. And yeah, we just, we watched the first 3 Star Wars movies too. That was a lot of fun. I finally getting my boys into those movies, and they really enjoyed them. We watched them 3 nights in a row. I think we're going to take a break tonight, but we'll have plenty of more days to watch those. So that's what I did. But outside of the Easter stuff, I have to tell you the highlight definitely over the last few days was my little surprise visit to each and every one of your homes. I haven't left town at all, so I'm like, how could I get out of Holly? And, I can't really go anywhere. You can't go to parks. You can't go to games. There's not a lot of stuff you can do. And the last thing I want to do is go to Walmart in this situation or some other big store. So I'm like, you know what? I'll take a trip and go to everyone's house. And at first I thought maybe that was a little crazy, but I'm so happy I did it because it was such a joy. Oh my goodness. First of all, you all have some pretty cool houses where you live. Whether you live in town, in the country, oh my goodness, you all have wonderful places that you call home. I really enjoyed it a lot. It was fun to see your little faces light up when I came to the door. Some of you even gave me some gifts as well, which was really cool. But just to see your face and to see you moving around and to talk with some of you was something that I really needed. And so I really appreciate that. And I know there were a couple of you I didn't get to. I almost got stuck 3 different times driving our minivan. It was a little bit scary. Some of the roads in the country are not very good. So there was a couple of you out there I didn't get a chance to see, but don't worry. I'll make sure to buzz out sometime and visit you soon. So definitely one of the highlights of the school year, just with you guys being basically, it feels like you've been torn away from me, to go and just to see you just for a moment really was a big deal for me. So anyway, enough of the mushy stuff. We have work to do. This will be the last week of materials that I have for you. You will be getting more materials on Friday, okay? So you have the materials for this week, and that'll get you through this week. And then on Friday, your parents will be coming to the school to pick up a few more items for the next few weeks, okay? Also, too, just throwing it out there, Random Shirt Day. I've had this sweatshirt a very long time. For those of you that don't know what team this is the Detroit Lions. They're a professional football team. My brother, Mr. Ben Lofgren, bought this for me years ago, and I've never worn it. I bet you this thing's probably 20 years old. It looks like it's brand new, and so and it still fits me. So I was in high school I was my freshman year of college 20 years ago, so it still fits me. So that's okay, right? Yeah. So we'll get into the work that I have for you here on this marvelous Monday. Feels so good after the weekend to be back in my classroom. Oh wait. I'm not in my classroom. I'm going to be teaching today from the cafeteria. Why? Well, tell me one good reason why I shouldn't, okay? Want to see for yourself? Okay, yeah, here we are. Here's the entrance to the gym. You can see nobody's in the gym right now, and here is the rest of the cafeteria. You can see nobody's sitting in the benches there. That's where the serving line ends, and that's where Alyssa usually sits with her computer. And in the back there, let's go take a look at the coolest room in the elementary. You know what room that is? Well, if you don't, you're about to find out. It's the office of the one and only Perry. Don't you just love that Perry? It doesn't say Mr. Burnside or Perry Burnside. It just says Perry. I love it. That's going to be kind of my theme for this week, is presenting lessons in different parts of the school. So I figured, cafeteria, this is a pretty busy place. It's a really weird place to be when there's nobody here. It is. Because usually when I'm in here, it's just full of energy, excitement. People are talking, they're happy. It's kind of borderline crazy in here, but it's a very interesting place to be when there's nobody around. So, first of all, what you need to do is you need to get out your lesson plan sheet for the day, okay? You need to get out your materials. You will need your Studies Weekly, Week 8. I'll go through that here in a moment. Your composition journal, okay? And I'll give you your journal topics. And then you will also need at some point your whiteboard, your marker and eraser, and then your math journal, okay? Your math journal with a pencil, you'll need those things. So why don't you go get those things, and we have another word from our sponsor.
I want my cocoa wheats.
Cuckoo wheats? What's that?
Not cuckoo wheats, cocoa wheats. Tastes like hot cocoa, and it's part of this complete breakfast. Cocoa wheats can't be beat. It's the creamy hot cereal with the cocoa treat. To be big and strong, have lots of fun. Eat cocoa wheats, everyone.
It's cuckoo wheats. It's cocoa wheats, bird brain.
Ask for yummy cocoa wheats today.
That's one of my favorite commercials of all time. It's an oldie but a goodie, as they would say. Cocoa wheats, if you've never had them, they're really delicious. It's been a long time since I've had them, but I would always laugh at the end when that cuckoo clock bird comes yelling at the regular bird, because the regular bird keeps calling it cuckoo wheats, and it's cocoa wheats, and then that bird in the cuckoo clock goes crazy. He is about ready to have a heart attack. It's cocoa wheats, bird brain. Still love that part of the commercial. By the way, the guy that says that is the same guy that voices Bugs Bunny and Yosemite Sam and Daffy Duck and all those Looney Tunes characters. It is a true story. All right, so what we're going to take a look at, first of all, are your journal options here for Monday, April 13th, 2020. So let's take a look at the journal options for this morning, okay? Your journal options today, obviously you have two of them. The first one says, April is filled with the songs of our fine feathered friends. Obviously, they're talking about birds. So write about what it would be like to sing with the birds in the trees. You know, what would it be like to be a bird in general, okay? What would you do? What would you hunt? What kind of bird would you be? Second one, attention bookworms, National Library Month is celebrated in April. What do you think is checked out from your library the most? Why do you think that book is so popular? Okay, so yeah, think about that. You know, think about our library. You know, what book or books are the most popular ones? You know what you could do? You could take a guess, write about it, and then if you're brave enough, you could email Mrs. Drussel. Okay, you could ask her. She would love to answer your question. So you could go and log on to her email, and I'll make sure to put her email at the end of this video. Okay, so anyway, yeah, those are your two journal assignments. Continue with your AR. Love seeing those tests come in. Boy, Ndln Peterson just took a big one last night. Nice job, Ndln. There's lots of other kids out there that are taking quizzes like nonstop, so keep up the great work there. If you haven't done so, a lot of you have not. Seth Payette was the first one that did it. Your parents got an email about a really cool program called EPIC, okay? It's free. Tons of books that are AR, tons of them. And way more than the library has. Like, if you're looking for something specific, like I thought of, for example, Veda. She likes baking. I went on to Epic and I searched up baking. Over 100 AR books popped up for baking. Seth, okay, because he was the first one that logged in. He's a big Boston Red Sox fan. I typed in Boston Red Sox. There were like 12 books that came up for the Red Sox. The books are free, and most of them are AR books, so if you're running out of books, I would check that out. Some of the books are read-alouds to you as well, super easy, so make sure if you haven't done that, get logged into Epic and search away and start reading. Okay, so this will be the last Studies Weekly we will have for a while as we've wrapped up our physical science unit. We are on the 8th issue already, and our final issue talks about observing energy, okay? Observing means to look at or witness, or you see something, and energy, oh my gosh, energy is what powers our world, okay? So you're going to read the opening article, which is titled On the Energy Trail, okay? And so that'll kind of get you leading into what the rest of the issue has in store. Okay, so take a look at that opening article. There's a really cool article on the bottom of the first page, and it's titled Music, Not Just for People. Talks about how whales, humpback whales, sing songs during their breeding season. Okay, also gives you a few other resources there. If you're interested in learning more about whales, go ahead and check that out. Once you open the first page, or you open up to the middle, it talks about observing energy and how it moves, how it changes, and how it makes waves, okay? There's a really neat illustration there. As you can see, a stove, and it's got a pot of water on top, and we see the water bubbling, okay? The water is a liquid turning into a gas. We can also see the heat from that stove. The heat is traveling in waves, okay? And so energy has always existed. One thing that's interesting, no matter what you do, energy will not go away. It just changes into a different form. It's kind of interesting to put into perspective there. So check this out, and this will really kind of be the meat of the lesson, okay, of the entire lesson today. So make sure you read this one very carefully. A couple of other little mini articles to read. One, there's a small article titled Energy Sources. A source is where something comes from. Okay, so our sources of energy, boy, you think of humans, where do we get our energy from? We get it from eating food, right? And we have to eat the right foods to put in our body to be able to do the things that we want to do. There are types of energy that are renewable and non-renewable, meaning okay, if I burn something, something, it's not going to come back again, okay? For example, like oil, gasoline, coal, those are non-renewable. Okay, there are others that are what we would call renewable, like wind, okay? We're not going to run out of wind. Solar energy, we're not going to run out of sunlight. These are things that are going to be around us forever. So take a look at energy sources and also do a little more digging in where our energy comes from. Fossil fuels, okay? I don't know if you were aware, but the things that we burn a lot of, coal, oil, natural gas, okay, they've been buried into the earth, and they came from fossils, okay? Really interesting. So check that article out, what are fossil fuels? Okay, couple other things I want to highlight here in the Studies Weekly here. There are a few activities for you to do. There's one that talks about what the ozone layer is. The ozone layer is a very, very, very important part of our atmosphere. It helps protect us from dangerous rays of the sun, or the sun's energy, okay, the ultraviolet rays. If the ozone layer starts to deteriorate, it goes away, our planet's going to get warmer, and that's a very, very bad thing. You can see in this picture that there is a hole over Antarctica, which is not good because Antarctica is totally made up of ice, okay? So here is a way for you to make your own hole in an ozone layer, okay? I won't go through the directions with you, but you can certainly go do that on your own. If you want to learn more about the ozone layer, Google it. I'm pretty sure there's a Brain Pop video on that. Another experiment for you to do, measuring solar energy. Does the sun heat water or soil faster? Write your prediction on the line. All you need 2 plastic cups, 3/4 of a cup of water, 3/4 of a cup of soil, and a thermometer. The directions are there. You'll see which one gets hotter in 10 to 15 or in 15 minutes. And then you'll figure out which one gets hotter and why. Okay? Very curious to see if you can figure that out. All right? What in the heck is this thing? It's called an anemometer. I'll say it again. Anemometer. An anemometer is a tool used to measure the speed of wind. Very important considering the fact that we live somewhere that gets a lot of wind throughout the year. My goodness, the last 2 days have been extremely windy. So meteorologists, folks in the weather department use what's called an anemometer to measure the speed of wind. A lot of materials there. Again, these are all optional. I would maybe tuck this away for something you could do later once you are able to get the materials, but it'd be really cool to make because we do have lots of wind here in Minnesota. So this is optional. Check it out, how to make an anemometer. If you're curious about anemometers, Google them. Check it out on YouTube. I'm sure you could find some cool things about anemometers. Okay, and then finally, your assignment, which is due tomorrow on Tuesday, but if you want to do it today, go ahead. Your assignment is the crossword puzzle. You have 8 different terms: ozone layer, crest, trough, wavelength, renewable, non-renewable, fossil fuels, and solar. Do the crossword puzzle, take a picture of it, send it to me, and you're good to go. All right, so there you have it. That's the Studies Weekly, observing energy. Energy is all around us, and it's important to conserve it or save it, okay? Don't waste energy. If you leave your bedroom, for example, turn the lights off. When you leave your house, turn the lights off. When you're not in your house, turn the thermostat in your house, turn it down a few degrees. You're not going to be there anyway. Why have it really toasty warm? Turn it down. I know some of you in my classroom kind of complain because my room is cold sometimes. Well, It's a way that I can conserve energy here at school. Instead of having it at 71 degrees, I turn it down to 68. Those 3 degrees might seem like a big difference to some of you, but man, if everybody does that, we're saving a little bit of energy here and there. Let's take a look at the other options for you today before we head on into math. I want to just highlight that first one. Learn to play a new game at home. Find one you've never played and learn how. This is a great time to learn some new games. Do a puzzle. Oh my goodness, we've been doing a lot of puzzles at our house. Please do this. I know some of you have been doing a great job of sending me pictures. I want all of you to start doing this every day, and that's down toward the middle. Write your first and last name in cursive handwriting 5 times. Announcement, starting next week. That will be a requirement, and it will be a grade every day for reading. You just need to write your name in cursive, your first and last name 5 times. So don't say I didn't warn you, okay? Plenty of other options there to do, so that's it for that. Let's flip over to math. First things first, continue to do your math minutes, all right? Math minutes, huge. Get those facts down. So when you go to 4th grade, you walk into Mrs. McEver's room or Mrs. Zacker's room, boom, you got them, you know them, all right? Keep practicing those. IXL, want to give a shout out to a few kids. I know Jackson Menke's one of them. Jackson Menke, I got to give you a big shout out. Why? Because you're the only student to do all of the multiplication levels for H on IXL. Nice job, dude. All right. If you haven't done those start items on IXL on Part H, multiplication, please get to that. That's good practice for you so you know how to multiply a 1-digit number times a 2-digit number. So continue with your IXL always. That's always there for you to do. So today what we're going to spend our time on is we're going to be talking about area. Okay, this is going to be kind of a review, but kind of brand new at the same time if we've forgotten. So you need to get your whiteboard, your marker, and eraser, and then have your math journal and your pencil handy. Okay. I'm still live and direct in the cafeteria. Haven't gone anywhere yet. Area. We've talked a lot about area and perimeter. Okay, perimeter is the distance around an object. So if I want to find the distance around Michaela's house, for example, I would take a tape measure and measure the distance around her entire house in feet. I'm sure I wouldn't probably do it in miles. Her house isn't that big, and I wouldn't do it in inches. Her house isn't that small. I would measure around Michaela's house in feet to find the perimeter, the distance around. Area, on the other hand, is the number of square units that we found inside of an object, okay? And we can do that many different ways depending on what the object is. And today we're just going to review finding areas of rectangles, okay? Easy. The one thing you have to know about finding the area of a rectangle is you have to know how to multiply. Multiplication is essential. It's super important to find areas of rectangles, all right? So on your whiteboard, simple, let's just draw a rectangle that looks something like this, okay? Just draw a rectangle. Here we have a rectangle. And over here, let's say that it is 4 inches. This rectangle is 4 inches wide, okay? And it is 8 inches long, okay? All right? Now, if I want to, I can label the other 2 sides. It wouldn't hurt anything. Never hurts to be too careful. But when I, first of all, define perimeter, I'm going to add all these numbers, correct? To find the perimeter, right? But I'm just finding area, okay? I could do one of 2 things. One, I could draw and make sure I have 4 rows going across and then 8 columns going down and then count every single square. I could do that, but that would take forever, okay? I've got better things to do, all right? I could multiply. And what I do is I'm not going to multiply all these numbers. No, I'm just going to take the width times the length. I remember I told you that. One thing that I've always done is I just put a little multiplication symbol right there. So I'm going to take 4 times 8. My number model will be 4 inches times 8 inches. 4 times 8. That is a basic fact. 4 times 8. 4 times 8. 2 times 8, that's 16, and then I double it. Remember, 4s are double double. 4 times 8, that would equal 32 inches, and then I need to put this little 2 up next to it. That means inches squared. That means there are 32 square inches inside of that object. There are 32 squares. Each one of them is 1 inch all the way around. Okay? All right, I'm back. Now I have 2 rectangles I have for you. Now I'm going to have you just do these on your own, and when you find the area, I just want you to put inside of the rectangle what the area is, and don't forget to put your square, your number 2 at the end, that exponent number 2. Okay, so go ahead and do these. If you can do them on your own, just get them done. If not, I'll talk you through them. Okay, so we have area. To find the area of a rectangle, all we do is we take the length times the width. That's all we need to do. All right, so for this first one, that's really easy. We were just going to take 4 times 10. 4 times 10, that equals 40 feet. And then I'm going to put that little 2 there. That means square feet, excuse me. Okay? All right? For the second one, we're going to take 20 times 5. Ooh, how do I multiply by 20? That's not a basic fact. No, but remember, we take 20 times 5, take the basic fact, 2 times 5, that is 10. We have 1 left over 0. We're going to throw that 0 at the end. So my area is 100 feet squared. All right? Did you get those right? Yeah, I know you did. You guys are geniuses. Okay, so the math boxes that are due today are on page 226. At the top, it should say Math Boxes Lesson 7-3. There are 5 problems for you to do. Number 1 should be pretty self-explanatory. We just worked on a few examples, okay? If you don't know what to do, go back and watch that part of the video again. Number 3 should also be somewhat simple. I'm not going to spend any time reviewing or talking about that. But what I am going to do, I want to spend a few minutes or a few moments talking about problems 2 and 4. Pay attention. Let's look at problem number 2 in your book. You see this problem and it says, what fraction of the whole pizza has been eaten? What fraction of the whole pizza is left? And if you look at number 2, it shows like 4 pieces and they're all shaded in, and it's kind of like, it doesn't look like a whole pizza. Well, earth to all my 3rd graders out there, that's not the whole pizza, okay? I drew kind of an example behind me. I used some different colors. It's not exactly perfect, but you get the idea. So on your problem for number 2, we see 4 pieces shaded in, this kind of weird looking object, and then we don't know what's over here. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to figure out how many pieces have been eaten. How many pieces of this are gone? How do you figure that out? Well, I guess what I would do, I'm kind of a visual person. I like to see things in trial and error and kind of take a look. We can see right down here, there's a line right down the middle here, right? And then we can see a line going diagonal up and down this way. Well, what if I took this line and extended it over here, right? See that? And then I just connect the part of the circle over here. Ooh, those are the pieces that are missing, okay? Do that for number 2, and that'll help you solve the rest of that problem. Then if we take a look at number 4, it shows this rectangle, it says 6 times 11, then it talks about, it says partition the rectangle to show 11 broken into 10 and 1. Write a number sentence that represents the picture, okay? Well, again, we haven't done much of this when we were in class. We did a little bit. I want to do an example with you here so then you know what to do on number 4. So let's say we have this area of this rectangle. Let's say it's 7 times 4. And let's say that someone is really having a hard time with either their 7s or their 4s, all right? I'm going to pick on that 7 because 7s are really hard to count by. They are. It doesn't just come off the tip of your tongue. But what I could do is I could divide that 7 into 2 really simple numbers, or break it into 2 simple numbers where it's easy to multiply with. You think you can guess what they are? Well, if I take this little chunk right here and I turn that into a 2, I could put my 2 here, and this would be 2 plus what is 7? 5. Okay? Now this is easy. I'm going to put a 4 here because that 4 is still the same. Now I'm just going to take 5 times 4, that's 20, and then 4 times 2, that is 8. Okay? So I partitioned it, I broke it into parts to multiply it. Do this for number 4. Obviously the numbers are different, but this is what it's asking you to do. Show me how to divide it into 10 and 1, and then multiply them to figure out what the area would be. Okay, so those are your math boxes for today. Take a picture of those when you're done. Send it to me. I'll get it in the grade book, and you'll be good as gold. Ooh, I almost forgot. Trivia question. Ooh, got a good one. Take a look. Take a looky here. We're going to do the bottom one on the card. It says, how many U.S. states begin with the letter M? Don't look at a map. Take a guess right now. Think, how many states? Well, obviously, the best state in the world, Minnesota, is one of them. But there are many more. Do your best to take a guess and see how many how many begin with the letter M. And before I give you that, I want you to take a look at the sign right here. You see that sign? It says, Holly Elementary is proud to be a Minnesota school of excellence. That's you, okay? You guys are what make this school a school of excellence. You boys, you girls, you make things happen. We're going to get you guys and girls in here at some point. I believe it. Until then, keep working hard at home. Push yourself. Whatever you get into, distance learning and learning in general is what you're going to get out of it. So really, I want you to challenge you this week. Really work hard. Push yourself. Work hard this week. All right? Okay. Next time, our next episode, we're going to take a little tour of some of these random rooms in the school. Like, what in the world's in that room over there? And what's in that closet right over there? And what's in behind these doors over there? Next time, we'll find out. Until I see you, have a great day and keep it real. Get your work done. I'll see you later. Peace!